through to his conclusion. They're refusing to do it, right? But I got an even more important point, honestly, because we all know why they're doing this. We all know why they're doing this. You guys know the MAGA view of the world, the right-wing view of the world. What do they say? Yes, your life sucks. We understand that it sucks. We're going to help you fix it. But you need to understand the reason your life sucks is because of those goddamn dastardly immigrants who are taking your jobs and ruining the country, and those goddamn horrible trans people who are bringing sexual perversion and degeneracy across this country and trying to confuse your kids into ruining their lives. So the argument is, yeah, your life sucks. We'll try to make it better. But the problem, let's scapegoat. The problem is immigrants and the problem is trans people. And the problem is like Hollywood and Democratic elites, right? This is what they say. When the reality of the situation is trans people are not your enemy. Immigrants are not your enemy. The people that they target, they're not your enemy. Your enemy, it's the robber barons. It's the billionaires. It's the oligarchs. It's the people who have bought the government, the corporations who have bought the government and rigged the government in their favor and against you. So this is why they're doing it. It's classic divide and conquer. Hey, at the same time that robber barons are gleefully joining the Trump administration and going to give him $1 million checks at Mar-a-Lago, and they're apparently going to be sitting on the stage with Trump at his inauguration. You got Zuckerberg and Bezos and Musk and all these people. They're like snuggling up to power. Musk is going to get an office at Mar-a-Lago. He's going to get an office there. So at the same time, you have state power and billionaire oligarch robber barons married together. And again, the plan is going to be to loot the treasury, steal the money, and screw you over. What do they want you to focus on? Oh, these evil trans girls in schools are ruining everything. They're ruining it. And AOC made a great point, too, about like, really? We're supposed to believe that you guys are just interested in protecting girls? Why did you vote against the Violence Against Women Act? Like, it's comical. You take away reproductive rights, vote against the Violence Against Women Act. But I know, you care so deeply about girls in this country. But again, I'm burying the lead. This is the most important point. So they passed this bill, right? As if it's, there's some sort of epidemic in this country of trans girls ruining girls' sports, right? Ready? Quote, while we don't know the exact number of trans women competing in NCAA sports, so that's at the college level, I would be very surprised if there were more than 100 of them in the women's category. So at the college level, there's about 100 trans girls who are competing. Ready? But this isn't about that. This is about below that. It's about middle school and high school. Here we go. That number is even smaller when it comes to middle school and high school athletes. Newsweek also spoke to Jillian Brandstetter, a spokesperson for the American Civil Liberties Union, who told Newsweek that Save Women's Sports, a leading voice in the bid to ban transgender athletes from competing in girls' sports, identified only 5 transgender athletes competing on girls' teams in school sports for grades K through 12. That's right. Not 5,000 trans girls competing in sports. Not 500. Not even 50. They were only able to find 5 trans student athletes. 5. So they had a whole national debate and they had a vote on the issue. They're voting on this as LA burns to the ground. They're voting on this as we haven't had a minimum wage increase since the fucking George W. Bush administration. This is what they're voting on. Medical bills are the number one cause of bankruptcy. You think maybe they should vote on that first? Making it so we don't have medical bankruptcies anymore? We just got the news that homelessness spiked 18%. There's 770,000 homeless Americans. 770,000, that went up. You think maybe you guys should handle that before you get involved in this bullshit culture war nonsense where you're targeting 5 trans girls? K to 12. 5 they were able to find. They passed a bill just to say fuck you to 5 trans girls. And by the way, look, I'll also say this. I'm a coach. I've coached soccer. I've coached basketball. To this day, I still coach. And I'll tell you this. In our county is small, and we don't have like the numbers that you would need to have both a boys league and a girls league for many of these sports. So what you do in Parks and Rec is you do co-ed. And so I've coached at the elementary level. I've coached at the middle school level. I can say with 100% certainty, at the elementary level and the middle school level, there's no problem whatsoever having the co-eds. Zero problem whatsoever. And in fact, in many instances, especially when they're younger in elementary school, for example, you will see that oftentimes the girls generally beat the ass of the boys when they're younger. Why? Crystal's got a theory that it's more because of the ability to focus at such a young age for an extended period of time, where the boys are more spacey and they'll fucking lose it, and the girls are just laser focused on the thing that they have to do. So, and I really don't care. I don't want to hear your opinion. If you haven't coached sports, coached kids' sports in school, I really have no interest in what you have to say, because I have firsthand experience on this stuff. I know what it's like. I know the differences that we're talking about. I know when it makes sense and when it's acceptable. And again, this whole thing is to basically put your middle finger up to 5 trans girls across the entire country because you don't want them playing in middle school and high school sports. Do you have any idea how fucking pathetic this sounds? It is. It's incredibly pathetic. It's the saddest thing I've ever seen. And look, if they're going to take this position, okay, you're owning the position. You're in favor of genital inspections for girls in school. That's what you're in favor of. That's what you're in favor of. You're in favor of transvestigating every child that plays sports. That's what you're in favor of. You're going to own that position. We're going to make you own that position because that actually is your position. And so shout out to AOC for bringing the fire on this issue. I think she did a phenomenal job. She literally led the way in the sense that the main argument she was making, other Democrats were like, she's actually totally right about that. That like the actual thing they're saying is we want to inspect the genitals of young girls who play sports in school. Like that's what they're saying. That's what they're saying. But also I need all you to spread that fact and remember that fact that they had a vote on this bill, which passed, by the way. And it's literally targeting 5 trans girl athletes in school. 5 of them. 5. Think about how much conversation this issue gets in right-wing spaces in particular, and how much they can't shut the fuck up about trans people, and then compare that to the number of trans athletes that we're talking about. It is beyond parody, MAGA is.
Hey y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop, and watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.